Okay, let's dive into this. I want to tell you a story, a real-world case study, about a time I was brought in to help a business that was, well, on the brink of a major crisis. It's a pretty cool look at how the right tech can really save the day.
So, yeah, this was the situation. I was called in to help an educational institution, and it wasn't just one problem. They were facing a serious, two-front battle that was threatening their whole operation. The stakes were incredibly high.
And here's the breakdown of that dual threat. On one side, you had the internal risk. Their most important systems were chugging along on these old standalone servers. It was a ticking time bomb. Then, on the other side, their public image was taking a huge hit because their website was just painfully slow. So they were getting attacked from the inside and the outside.
Now, to really get how serious that internal risk was, you have to understand this term, a single point of failure. It's exactly what it sounds like. Imagine a massive chain holding up a bridge, but it's only got one single rusty link. If that one link breaks, the whole thing comes crashing down. That's exactly the situation they were in. One server dies, and their whole operation could have just stopped.
So, faced with this pretty scary scenario, I knew my approach had to be crystal clear. I laid out a two-pronged mission to attack both of these critical issues at the same time.
And here's what success looked like to me. For their internal systems, the goal was ambitious, to say the least. Build an infrastructure so solid that they would have zero, and I mean zero, unplanned downtime. For the website, the challenge was different. I wanted to prove that I could deliver a huge speed boost just by optimizing what they already had, saving them a ton of money and the headache of a big migration.
All right, so how did I actually do it? Let's get into the fun stuff. We'll start with part one, how I built that super resilient core and got rid of that single point of failure for good.
So there were two key moves here. First, I put in what's called a failover cluster. The easiest way to think about this is like having a hot spare for your entire system, always running in the background. If one piece of hardware suddenly dies, another one instantly takes over. No one even notices. Then, to make it totally bulletproof, I brought in a tool called Veeam. This thing created automatic, nightly copies of everything. Suddenly, they went from having no safety net to having an automated, reliable disaster recovery plan.
With their internal operations now basically a fortress, it was time to shift my focus. Mission number 2. Fixing their digital front door and turning that slow-as-molasses website into something people would actually enjoy using.
My approach here was a 1-2 punch. First, I plugged them into a service called Cloudflare. Its content delivery network, or CDN, basically puts copies of their website in data centers all over the world, so it loads super fast for everyone, no matter where they are. It also acts like a security guard, blocking common cyber attacks. After that, I dove deep into the website itself, setting up smart caching, shrinking down the code, and optimizing every single image to squeeze out every last drop of performance. So, after all that work on both the inside and the outside, what did it all add up to? Let's take a look at the before and after, because the transformation was pretty dramatic.
Okay, first, let's remind ourselves where things stood when I first walked in the door.
I mean, the situation was not good. They were constantly worried about a catastrophic internal failure. Their public website was an embarrassment, and they had absolutely no plan for what to do if the worst happened. No safety net at all.
And this is the new reality I was able to build for them.
Total transformation. Every single one of those critical problems was gone. The risk of an outage, eliminated. That slow website, now dramatically faster. And that lack of a safety net, replaced with complete peace of mind, thanks to a solid disaster recovery plan.
And if you want just one number that really tells the story of the website's success, here it is. I cut their page load times by more than half. Now, in the online world, that's an eternity. That's not just a tech victory. That's a massive upgrade to the user experience that completely changes how people see their organization.
So, let's wrap this up. What was the real tangible impact of all this work? What did it actually mean for the business?
You know, this really sums it up perfectly. I was able to solve their biggest, most urgent problems from both sides. We fortified them from the inside out, completely overhauled their public presence, and this is the best part, we did it all by being smart and getting the most out of the investments they had already made.
And that kind of brings me to the final thought I want to leave you with. This whole story is a powerful reminder that these hidden risks, these single points of failure, can be lurking anywhere. So the question for you is, what's your organization's single point of failure? It's definitely something worth thinking about.